Being a teenager is hard. Being a teenager with depression and bipolar disorder can make life seem unlivable.
In the past year, Miller-Dwan has admitted, on average, 15 young people every week to their adolescent psychiatric unit. That's more than 750 children and teens hospitalized for intensive mental health treatment in 1 year. Tonight, we continue our in-depth look at a rise in suicide and mental illness among children and adolescents and the shortage of help.
Our partners, the Duluth News Tribune and Fox 21's Nicolette Helling, bring you the story of one young woman's survival, struggle, and survival.
17-year-old Betsy Johnson has a passion for all things musical. She loves to play it, listen to it, and dance to it. But less than 2 years ago, even her passion couldn't keep her from wanting to die.
There are some times where just nothing helped.
In Betsy's 17 years, she's been at Miller-Dwan 8 times for intensive mental health treatment. She says she's always had depression, but it was the summer before her 10th grade year when things took a turn for the worse. Betsy's parents got divorced when she was only 1 year old. Since then, she's lived with her mother. But in the summer of 2007, Betsy's abusive boyfriend was also living with them. Set off by scene after scene of violence, Betsy's mental illness began to take full form.
I'd always had depression, but this really sparked it, and it caused a big spiral downward. I ended up self-injuring, and I was cutting myself, I was burning myself, and I was struggling with eating disorders.
Battling with extreme emotional highs and lows Betsy now attributes to bipolar disorder, the young woman was lost.
It's hard because it gets in the way. It gets in the way of hanging out with my friends, gets in the way of dance, of my schoolwork. My grades will drop.
Despite her family and friends' attempts to help her, Betsy was feeling trapped by her illnesses. On March 3, 2008, she decided she had to escape.
I took probably a little over half a bottle of Excedrin. I take one, just swallow it, and I just kept going.
She also took 10 times the normal dosage of Seroquel, a drug prescribed to treat bipolar disorder.
I think I was just mad and angry, and I just wanted to be done.
The amount of medication Betsy ingested that day almost killed her. Her heart rate reached 180 beats per minute, and her blood pressure was in the low 40s.
I don't think I've ever been so scared in my life, because I just remember thinking over and over again, if I close my eyes, I'm going to die. I don't want to die. I have to keep my eyes open.
Betsy spent less than 2 days in the hospital and 5 days in Miller-Dwan's inpatient program. She didn't feel ready to leave, but suddenly she found herself back in class, almost as if nothing had happened.
So it was really hard to transition back, and I was still seeing my therapist, but that was like once a week or every other week, so it was really hard because it was just like being thrown back to the sharks.
Over the next weeks and months, Betsy would continue to battle with her depression and bipolar disorder, going back to Miller-Dwan for treatment 4 times. Without music, Betsy says she's not sure she would have survived.
I was terribly worried about her.
Joanna Walters has known Betsy for 6 years.
Her and I really hit it off pretty much immediately.
The Duluth Central High School orchestra director knows how important music can be for kids, especially those who are struggling with mental illness.
A lot of the kids that have these issues are not kids that can wait. They don't have any place to turn sometimes. Betsy is the second student that I have had in my 6 years here that has told me flat out, if I wasn't in your program, if I wasn't in your orchestra with you, I'd have committed suicide.
Knowing how hard it is for kids to get the help they need, Betsy feels fortunate for the care she got at Miller-Dwan.
It's been a long journey.
There are only 16 available beds in the adolescent psychiatric unit at Miller-Dwan, where Betsy stayed on 6 different occasions. In the partial hospitalization program, where Betsy was treated twice, there are only 8 spots for teenagers. And there are always people on waiting lists. After all this time and heartache, Joanne is happy to see things are finally turning around for Betsy.
Yeah, she's doing awesome. She's just wonderful. I just love her. She's like my own girl.
For the first time, I know what I want to do, and I have a plan.
Betsy says her goal is to work with adolescents with mental illness, just like herself. After college, she plans to go on to graduate school to become a music therapist.
It's still so weird to me that I'm graduating, because for the longest time, I didn't even see myself living to graduation. I survived through all of this, and I lived through all of this. I feel like I am the voice for those who can't speak. I am living proof that you can get out of it, you can make it through, and you can get help.
With photojournalist Carrie Kohlmeyer, I'm Nicolette Helling, Fox 21 News.
Though Betsy was able to find the help she needed, there is an increasing number of children and adolescents who are not so lucky.
Tomorrow at 9, we'll show you how this house is helping kids. You can read more on this series in tomorrow's Duluth News-Tribune. And if you know someone who is experiencing a mental health crisis or just needs someone to talk about mental illness, please call these phone numbers for help. You can also find the numbers online at fox21online.com.